Imagine, for just a second, the people building the most powerful, world-altering technology in human history.
Right, the architects of artificial intelligence.
Exactly. Now imagine them suddenly raising their hands, basically stopping the clock and saying, please don't let us be the only ones in charge of this.
It is entirely backward from what we usually expect.
Totally backward. I mean, we are so used to Silicon Valley demanding zero friction. Just let us build, let us disrupt, keep the red tape away.
Yeah, but the global conversation around AI is experiencing a massive earthquake right now.
It really is. We are moving way past that initial awe of, oh, wow, a chatbot can write a poem or, pass the bar exam.
We are confronting a much heavier question now, which is who actually gets to steer this ship?
Right. And that brings us to the mission of today's deep dive. We're looking into this stunning, really unprecedented declaration by Chris Olah,
And for those who might not know, he is the co-founder of Anthropic.
a major player.
Absolutely. Anthropic is what we call a frontier AI lab. They are not just tinkering with existing apps, they are building the bleeding edge general purpose models.
So this is an actual pioneer inside the industry, actively begging for outside oversight. He is warning us that the future of AI carries enormous social and moral consequences.
And what's wild is where he chose to deliver this message. It wasn't at some closed-door venture capital summit.
No, it wasn't. It was at the Vatican.
Yeah, at the Vatican,
Mm.
during the presentation of Pope Leo's first encyclical on artificial intelligence.
It's just such a fascinating backdrop. You have the absolute vanguard of modern tech standing inside one of the world's oldest moral institutions.
It visually forces the conversation out of the server room.
Exactly. So to understand why he's doing this, we have to look inside the locked doors of these AI labs and really understand the pressures they face.
Right, because even with the best intentions, the companies building frontier AI are trapped in this massive pressure cooker.
Okay, let's unpack this, because it's not just about greed, is it?
No, not at all. They're driven by fierce commercial competition, sure, but also geopolitical rivalries and obviously massive investor expectations.
Which means personal ambition gets tangled up in all of that.
Exactly. It's an incentive trap.
It's like engineers trying to build the world's safest car, right?
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
But they are simultaneously driving that car in a high-stakes race, and the investors are in the back seat just screaming at them to go faster.
And if you stop to check the brakes, you lose the race.
Precisely. The good intentions inside a lab simply cannot survive that kind of pressure without external speed limits.
What's fascinating here is how these intense corporate forces naturally clash with what is actually best for society.
Because big tech operates on efficiency, right?
Efficiency and profit. That is their fundamental biological imperative as a business. And that is fundamentally different from operating for the public good.
Right. Protecting the social fabric doesn't really show up on a quarterly earnings report.
No, it definitely doesn't.
So because those corporate incentives are structurally flawed for protecting society, the conversation has to move to a moral arena.
Which perfectly explains why Olah delivered his message at the Vatican.
Yeah, that juxtaposition is just striking. Cutting-edge AI technology meeting ancient moral authority.
The Vatican has this centuries-long focus on human dignity, social justice, and labor rights.
But, let me push back on this for a second.
Sure.
It's a beautiful thought, right? But practically speaking, why should religious leaders or civil society groups be dictating tech policy?
A lot of developers would ask that exact question.
Right. A critic might argue, hey, these folks don't even understand the Python code, so why are they making the rules?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, you don't actually need to understand the thermodynamics of an engine to know you need a speed limit in a school zone.
Oh, that's a great point.
AI is no longer just a business product. It's a society-level technology.
A society-level technology. That's an important distinction.
Yeah, because it's going to reshape social order, privacy, education, politics, everything.
So its governance literally cannot remain locked in corporate boardrooms.
Exactly. The central question becomes, should AI be developed solely for efficiency, or should it be guided by human dignity?
And that question brings us to the massive social disruption that has Olah and the Vatican so deeply concerned.
The labor displacement.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because it comes down to what you, the listener, spend most of your waking hours doing. your job.
Yeah, Olah was very specific about this warning. Advanced AI is threatening to replace human labor on a massive, unprecedented scale.
And we aren't just talking about factory robots anymore.
No, not at all. This threatens knowledge workers, creative professionals, highly skilled jobs.
White-collar work is entirely in the crosshairs now.
Which completely shifts the AI debate. It is no longer just a debate about technology or algorithms.
Right.
It is now fundamentally a debate about employment, social protection, income security, and education.
I want everyone listening to just imagine for a second your own profession being automated.
It's a scary thought.
It really is. And it touches on something far deeper than just losing a paycheck. It touches on the dignity of labor.
Because work gives us purpose, right? It gives us an identity.
Exactly. If AI does everything, if it writes the briefs, generates the art, balances the books flawlessly, it challenges the very future of human purpose in an automated economy.
We run into a philosophical wall. What is our role if we are just consuming what the machines produce?
So knowing this massive wave of automation is coming, we can't just panic.
No, panic doesn't help anyone.
You need a practical blueprint for how to handle it. What does Olah actually propose we do?
Well, first, he says AI development absolutely must include scrutiny from outside the tech bubble.
Meaning who exactly?
Governments, religious leaders, independent institutions, civil society, and the wider public.
We need to force different voices into the boardroom.
Precisely. And second, he argues that if widespread displacement happens, and it likely will, society has a major ethical responsibility to actively support the affected people.
We can't just treat them as collateral damage for tech progress.
Right. This raises an important question, though, because Olah is not saying AI must be stopped.
He's not saying pull the plug on the servers.
Exactly. It is going to grow regardless. You can't uninvent the math.
So the practical way forward is steering it, not stopping it.
Yes. Ensuring that multiple diverse voices build systems that protect displaced workers and actually keep AI aligned with the public good.
So what does this all mean?
Well, I think it means the conversation has matured.
It really has. We've shifted from just talking about innovation and productivity to demanding accountability and moral governance.
It's a huge step up in maturity for the whole industry.
And when an insider from a lab like Anthropic says big tech shouldn't be in charge alone, we all need to listen.
We need to pull up a chair and take a seat at the table.
Absolutely. So just to wrap up this deep dive, it's clear that artificial intelligence is no longer just some technological race.
Not at all.
It is the ultimate human, economic, and moral challenge of our time.
And, I leave you with this provocative thought. What if the greatest innovation of the AI era isn't a new computer algorithm at all?
Wait, what do you mean?
What if the greatest innovation is the invention of a completely new way for global society across different faiths, governments, and everyday citizens to govern the future of human progress together?
Oh, wow. So the technology actually forces us to evolve how we collaborate.
Exactly. It forces us to become better stewards of our own future.
That is incredibly powerful. The clock is ticking, but the doors to the laboratory are wide open now.
They are.
So take a look at your own job and your own community today and ask yourself, who is shaping your automated future? Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.